One visit. That's all it takes to completely change the way you see your life. There are places on this earth where money means nothing. Pride disappears, and every fake problem suddenly becomes silent. Places where millionaires and beggars become equal. Places where people would trade everything they own just to breathe freely again. And if you ever truly visit these 5 places with your eyes open, you may never complain about life the same way again. Most people think gratitude comes from success, money, luxury, or achieving big dreams. But sometimes, gratitude comes from seeing pain, from seeing realities most people avoid. Because the truth is, comfort can blind you. We complain about slow internet, about not having enough followers, about not buying the latest phone, while somewhere else someone is praying for something much smaller. One more breath, one more sunrise, one more chance. Today, we're visiting 5 places that can completely change your mindset forever. 1. The graveyard. The graveyard is one of the quietest places on earth, not because nobody is there, but because everybody there has already said their final words. Walk through a cemetery slowly. Read the names, read the dates. Some died at 80, some at 20. Some never even reached adulthood, and suddenly, life begins to feel fragile. In the graveyard, you cannot tell who was rich and who was poor. You cannot tell who owned mansions and who struggled to survive. The expensive suits, the luxury cars, the fame, the social status, all stopped at the gate, because death is the greatest equalizer. Some of the people buried there had plans for next week. Some thought they still had time. Some thought they would apologize later, love later, travel later, rest later, but later never came. And that's what makes the graveyard terrifyingly powerful. It reminds you that life is temporary, that every single day you wake up is a privilege many people never got this morning. The graveyard teaches one brutal lesson. You are alive. So live before your name becomes a memory too. 2. The prison. Prison is a place full of locked doors, but the saddest thing locked inside is not the body. It's freedom. Inside prison walls are people who would do anything just to walk outside without permission, to feel rain naturally, to hug their families freely, to sit under the sun without bars covering the sky. Things we ignore every day. Some inmates made terrible mistakes. Some destroyed their own lives in seconds because of anger, greed, pressure, or bad decisions. And now many of them spend years replaying one moment in their minds. One mistake, one choice, one action. That's all it took. Imagine waking up every day knowing you cannot leave, knowing somebody else controls your time, your movement, your freedom. Many prisoners would be grateful for things we complain about daily. Traffic, school stress, work stress, even ordinary boredom, because boredom with freedom is still freedom. Prison reminds us that freedom is one of the most expensive gifts in life, and many people only understand its value after losing it. 3. The Hospital Intensive Care Unit, ICU. The ICU is different from every other room in a hospital. It's where machines breathe beside humans, where families wait outside praying with shaking hands, where silence feels heavy. Inside those beds are people fighting invisible battles. Some cannot speak, some cannot move. Some are praying desperately for one last chance, one more opportunity to see their children, one more chance to say I love you, one more chance to walk again, to eat normally again, to breathe without tubes again. And the painful truth is, many people in the ICU were healthy not too long ago. Life changed overnight. A sudden accident, a diagnosis, a stroke, a single phone call, and everything changed. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, people waste healthy bodies destroying themselves with stress, hatred, comparison, and negativity. The ICU teaches something powerful. Health is wealth. Not motivational wealth, real wealth. Because when your body stops cooperating, money suddenly loses meaning. A healthy poor man can still dream, but a dying rich man may trade everything just for one healthy week. 4. The burial ceremony. Burial ceremonies are painful because they force people to face reality. For a few hours, everybody forgets social media, forgets business, forgets status, because death interrupts everything. At funerals, you see grown men cry, strong women break down, families remembering moments they thought would last forever. And then comes the most emotional part. People begin saying good things about the person who died. He was kind. She always helped people. He had a good heart. And it makes you wonder something deeply uncomfortable. Why do people wait until death before showing love loudly? At burial ceremonies, regrets become visible. I wish I called more. I wish I visited. I wish we settled our issues. But now, it's too late. The burial ground teaches one painful lesson. One day, people will gather and talk about your life too. And the question is, what will they say? 5. The hospital children's ward. This place breaks hearts silently, rows of innocent children. Tiny hands connected to drips. Small bodies fighting diseases they don't even understand. Some are smiling, despite pain. Some are crying softly. Some are too weak to even cry anymore. And yet, many adults outside waste their healthy lives complaining endlessly. But there's something deeper about the children's ward. Every child there represents a future. One of them could become a doctor. Another could become a criminal. One may grow up to save lives. Another may destroy lives. Nobody knows yet. Because every human begins innocent, pure, small, helpless. And somehow life, choices, environment, pain, and society shape who they become. Looking at those children reminds you how fragile humanity really is. Every powerful person on earth once looked exactly like them. Tiny, dependent, innocent. The children's ward teaches compassion. It reminds us that life is not guaranteed, even from childhood. So before you complain again about your life, visit these places mentally. The graveyard will remind you time is short. The prison will remind you freedom is priceless. The ICU will remind you health is everything. The burial ceremony will remind you life ends suddenly. And the children's ward will remind you how fragile human life truly is. Gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It's realizing things could be much worse. You may not have everything you want right now, but somewhere, someone is praying to have the life you currently take for granted. And maybe, just maybe, the fact that you're watching this video right now means life is giving you another chance. Don't waste it. If this video changed the way you see life even a little, do well to like this video and subscribe for more deep content like this.